So you are in a relationship and you just don't know if it's the right decision to stay or to go. And this is such a dear topic for me because in my toxic relationship, the one that I was so confused what was happening, I didn't know it was toxic, first and foremost. I didn't know what the right move was. I knew that I wasn't happy, but then I had these little moments, these little glimpses of him showing up or him saying or doing what he said he was going to do. And I lit up. It was like, no more problems. This is going to be great. And it was in this loop that I stayed. And I analyzed my relationship into a paralysis. I thought backwards and forwards and left and right and diagonals, all ways of, if I did this, then this. Is this the right decision? I just don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. And it's so confusing and exhausting and isolating because you literally feel like you have 75,000 voices in your head, all conflicting and yelling at each other. And you don't know how to explain that to somebody else. So of course you start to isolate, and the isolation then makes the voices louder. It makes you feel crazier. It makes you so upset with your own brain that all you want is some relief. All you want is that knowing. You want to know for sure what you want to do, what is right to do, what the best thing is to do. And it can be confusing on why this feels so hard. So why do we stay in that back and forth ping pong place with ourselves when our friends and family can clearly say, like, it's not working, just leave? Why is it so hard? Why do we stay in that cycle? One of the reasons is something that I call potential land. If you follow me, there's other videos explaining potential land, but in essence, it's this fantasy place that we go to, this land of potential where the relationship works out. Our dream gets to come true. We get to have the fairy tale ending. We get the person that we signed up for. And if we're staying in that potential place, there's always a hope. There's always a hope that things are going to work out. And it feels better to be there. So whenever he does show up or he makes a small gesture, it reinforces that hope is still alive. And that hope is such a potent drug. We become addicted to that hope. So like when you start to detox from your drug of choice and then you get that little hit, it's like your brain lights up like Christmas. And it's reinforcing that is still alive and that fuels you. Even though in your reality, day to day, it might be really painful. You might be having a lot more anxious experiences. You might be having a lot more arguments, a lot more things that don't feel good. But that one little piece of hope, when that comes your way, it is so powerful. So know that you're not crazy, you're not stupid for wanting things to work out, right? That is the path of least resistance. If you've spent years with somebody and you're invested and you're committed and you thought you were going to marry this person or whatever your end result was, it's much easier to go the route of that happening as opposed to having to leave and start over. So of course you want that. Of course you want that. The second reason that it's so hard to get out of that like, it's just like a spin cycle inside your brain, is that you're in a stress response. So you're panicked about trying to make the right decision. And often what I find in my clients and in myself, that making decisions was so hard because there was some negative consequence that came when I followed my intuition when I was younger, or when I spoke my mind when I was younger. So you learn, right? It's a learned behavior that you don't trust yourself. And when you're put in a situation where you have to make a decision that could be life-changing, right? If you're in a relationship, if you're married, if you're dating, your life will change if that relationship shifts. And that's a lot of pressure, especially if you have an added stress response from your childhood. So you're in a panic state. You're in a reptilian brain experience. So reptilian brain is the part of our brain that's searching to make sure that we're okay. It's in charge of our survival. So when we feel like we're not okay, that part of our brain is firing. It's like, alert, alert, something's wrong, something's wrong. And we can't easily access the emotional part of our brain, the limbic center, and we can't easily access our rational brain to help us make the actual decision. So we're stuck. We're stuck in a stress response. We're stuck in panic. We're stuck in chaos. And if you can't bring your body down from that state, it's so hard to A, hear your rational thinking, and B, touch in with that intuitive part of us that we might get glimpses of here and there, but we're not listening to. So what do you do? What do you do if you're in this place? I have a 3-week program called Knowing, and the sole intention of these 3 weeks is to have clear, directed focus on you to help clear this chatter that's happening in your brain, lower the stress response, and help you come to a settled, peaceful knowing of what you want to do. Okay, so there's not pressure to break up with your partner. There's not judgment if you decide you want to stay with your partner or if you want to leave. The whole intention is for me to hold the safe space for you to be able to process things that you can't make sense of on your own and that you can't articulate to your friends and family. So I've been exactly where you are. So there's no need for you to try to explain or rationalize or show me how crazy you think your mind is. Like, I just get it. I get it on a level of having been there. So we can bypass that whole period of embarrassment and shame that you feel with other people. And it's space for you to just process through that back and forth. All of the options, all of the things that feel really overwhelming on your own. And we won't just be processing it. So I use something called EFT tapping, and it's an evidence-based somatic modality that actually lowers activity in your amygdala. So we're tapping on points on the body while we're processing. So it's a combination of talk processing and like acupressure. It's based in the same meridian system as acupressure and acupuncture, and it lowers our stress response. It helps to regulate the nervous system, to bring you into calm. Because remember, we can only access our rational mind and our intuition when we're in that calm state. So use this program as a way to give yourself that self-care of stepping outside of what you've been doing and trusting in a 3-week program with individual sessions, texting or voice note support. And I also am going to include access to my pre-recorded guided releasing ceremony. So it comes with all of the directions, the guided meditative journey, everything you need to make a really magical experience for yourself. And its intention is to help you let go of a story that you're stuck in. So maybe through this work, we identify a story of you feel worthless or you feel unlovable. You feel like you're going to be alone forever if you decide to leave. So using the releasing ceremony to help energetically shift yourself out of that story, out of that like imprisonment that we get stuck in when we don't even know we're there. So many good things. Clients who are also part of this Knowing program are going to have a special bonus for my larger group program that's coming up in September. And all of this with a money back guarantee, because if we get on the first call and it's not a vibe, then it's not a vibe and you get your money back. So you do the best work with a practitioner that you feel connected to and safe with. And I'm not here to force that if that's not in the cards for us. So there's really no risk to taking the step in this direction to see if you can find your knowing, see if you can come to that sigh-worthy place of like, yeah, this is what I know I want. Even if whatever direction you decide to go feels scary, this is what I know I want. And I want to get you to that level of confident knowing. So links are all below, information's all below. Always reach out if you have any questions at all or don't know how to get to wherever you're trying to go. I'd love to get to know the people that are following my content. If you feel inclined to like this or share it with a friend, that helps spread the word. And I know there's so much hope for you in being able to find what you want to do next and to take that step, because I've been there too.